Hello there, Aries, and welcome to your reading with me, Melissa Joy, at my channel, Joy to the World. And I hope your joy hops on in here as well, because that's the point of this whole thing. So, Aries, in the little chat Spirit was having with me before I turned the camera on, they were talking about we're going to, if you're showing up calendarically, otherwise these are timeless reads. But all that being said, is we're about to move into the Aries North Node. I think that's July 18th, July 17th. We'll be moving out of the shiz diz confuggery of the Taurus North Node, Scorpio South Node, like the Death Star, the wishing it was over, the like, oh my God, how do I escape this? Is this ever going to end? It was like a climax for many of you to 9 years of sorrow, 18 years of heartache, 27 years of difficulty, round and round and round. Or maybe some of you were like me. You grew up in a household with two parents born 9 months apart at the opposite ends of this thing that are both Taurus North Node. Talk about difficult. And my mom used to say I was born into death. Well, so now we're coming out of that into this new life. And that's the unique thing. We've moved into this different era. Pluto has moved on into Aquarius. I know it's dancing back and forth a few minutes, but it's pretty much there. So we've been in the Capricorn era where things are very tactile, very checklist oriented, very action oriented, that type of thing, which is in line with Aries. And now it's moving more into the imaginal realm. So they're wanting that spark of your imagination to begin to fire up and to see how it plays out and where it goes. And I asked them, I said, well, is this Aries North Node, Libra South Node going to be easy for Aries? Is this going to be like a boon and a boost to who they are? And they said, it's 50-50. It's up to you. And it's not just you choose it and you stay on it. It's like every day you still get up and you choose what to do. So it's really going to be an opportunity to test your mettle, M-E-T-T-L-E, like what components you're made of. And they were wanting to do an energetic session of getting into your divine nature, that essence where you're naturally led and guided by your spirit, by like a child is, you know, by the self. They're naturally led, and where we become conditioned to look to others for our food, for our provision, for our help. And even if you're fiercely independent, Aries, okay, and those who have Chiron moon in Aries, it is this new sense of self. It is this dominion self, and not about action and making things happen, but getting in line with your guidance and the whispers of truth inside of you and watching what happens. They're wanting to create opportunity, and not just plural opportunities, but opportunity itself, this space for miracles to happen, this space for mira to see, for things to come into your seeing, into your sensational world, which is this thing, right, where we can see it, touch it, taste it, feel it, smell it, hear it, okay? So enough of that being said, if you're still here, you're like, let me lean on in. And this is what is at the bottom of the deck. So maybe that is delighting your soul and you're ready to take off and to join the club. What club? Your club, your house, your rules, yourself. And really, you don't even need the rules. That's why they're wanting you to get from the beginning into the guidance, into the union that does away with the Uranus, that does away with Saturn, Neptune, those external planets. And it gets everything into the realm of your permission, your authority, so that the world, you know, the world, meaning the low vibrational mindset, doesn't sweep you away like a riptide or a current. Okay, and here at the bottom we have the Magician, the Mirror, and the Indecision. So some of you like, I don't know about this frou-frou stuff. That's all right. You have time to find out. And that's the thing, is if you get on board willingly and you open up, and it's not like you're just casting yourself into it, you're walking along, right? Minute by minute, day by day, seeing how this goes. Not an eye of cynicism that's like, prove it. Because when we're in that mode and that vibration, you miss 90% of the obvious, all right, of the clues and things coming in. And look at this. See, when you get that cynicism, and sin, C-Y-N, is a root word for dog, okay? The dog, the wolf, the wound, when you get that old stuff out of the way, the conditioning, the low vibration of the world of like staying in this cycle and in this loop, as opposed to divine nature coming in, staying in the 3D or the 5D as opposed to coming into the 4D. This is the 4D. how you feel about that. That looks delicious and divine. This is what heaven and nature comes together to look like. It is true actual provision. It's not that airy, fairy, frou-frou, fluff and buff stuff that you were questioning about at the beginning, some of you, okay? This has to do with your purpose, your meaning, the things that really bring you pleasure and traction in your life stepping in. Because out of the old Voss, when I still had red hair before I went through cancer, Michael came in to massage the ruby, and it's like, massage the ruby. He's like, yeah, we need to wake this thing up and get it fascinating. And that is our birthright core. And our birthright is happiness, our divine nature. That's why we're wanting to get into it, and they're asking you and inviting you to get into it, okay, and to see what it's all about. Because if you look closely, I don't know if you can see it out here, the spirals of life are occurring in the belly of this lion. You're awakening now. And those of you who were born like I was with the Chiron moon in Aries, and mine is in 4th house, which is why I went through cancer, right? It was rough. And overcoming that lack of support there. So it's getting into initiation of myself and who am I in this house, right? Okay. So this strength that's coming forward is knowing who you are, because Chiron, the wound, is like the cobbler's kids don't have any shoes, the chef's kids don't have any food, and who's the kid? You. It's like giving out to everyone else and not having any for yourself. And you could think, well, that's people pleasing, whatever else. That's conditioning. That's that world energy, that vibration of how time and day spends and how we go to school and that sort of thing in traditional aspects, okay? I know some of you might have been homeschooled, but in those traditional aspects, someone else decides what our cries mean when we're born. They decide when we need cuddling, or if we don't need cuddling. They decide whether we're worthy of being read to, or whether we're not, or whether our lifestyle suits that, or where they came from and who we will or won't be, because that doesn't occur in our family line. Like, I was considered to be quite strange. And it's like, I don't know where you came from. And I look at my parents, I'm like, I know exactly where I came from. I know where this fruit came from. And it's just when somebody lives so far off the mark or far away from their truth of who they are and denying themselves, it can look like a totally different species, all right? Like, you take something that should live in wetlands and you put it in average Joe backyard, that thing's gonna start to look strange and scraggly and awful, and you can throw all sorts of money at it, but it's never gonna do what it is when it's in its natural environment. And that's what they're talking about here, that choice of choosing the natural environment like this. Heaven and nature sing, getting together, and I'm like, ooh, that's good, because that's 50 here. That means Jubilee. For those of you who were born into child slavery, that means you were born into serious karma, and karma on both sides, and you're here to liberate the family, aka the black sheep, dances to the beat of their own drum, that whole thing. It's like, wake it and shake it, baby, because here it is. It's like that snow globe time. Your world is ready to wake up. Let it come in. Let life lead you. Let this pleasure and this presence and this joy enliven you, okay? So, who else? Michael's like, don't forget about me. So they're talking about your glory and your radiance, that when we're younger, sometimes we begin to tuck that away because there's temptation or test to do away with parts of ourselves through peer pressure, through bullying, through condescension, and those type of things going on. But here it's like, no. So as you begin to shine, those were the things where you're shining that people tried to bully or get rid of. Because when someone else is shining, it makes them recognize where they aren't. And not that where you're shining is where they aren't. It's that, oh, you're shining and I'm not, because I got bullied over here and I cast this aside in order to get along. And they're like, how dare you shine? Let's get that light turned off in here. And so we could sometimes associate shining and success and our personal happiness and pleasure and prosperity to be something that could come under attack, or something that could bring us threat or harm or be threatening, that type of thing. But it's not. Michael's coming in to say, hey, when you were in the fullness of who you are, not dumbing it down, not tipping the dial a little bit, because that brings in that static, and that static is what is the fleas, what is the attack, what is the flies, one buzzing around here, what is that storm warning, okay? And then when we begin to feel those odd little vibrations, because it's getting slightly off center, it draws in those odd vibrations, the quakes, the tusks, those sort of things. But when you're in the truth of who you are, When you're assured of who you are, when you don't explain and you don't drain and you don't feel like you have to make others know how to accept you and appreciate you, you just go about living and being yourself outside just like you would be inside. Now, I don't stay naked because now you can get in trouble for that in some places, but you get what I'm saying, a naked soul. All right, so that's what he's bringing in here, is the power of the protection. When we are in the truth of who we are, there is this this spiritual quote that says, I am a sun, S-U-N, and a shield unto you. That means following the truth of who you are is guarded and protected, because I love it here. Michael, usually people have it resonating in this kind of vibration, but he's like, no, I come from the beginning. Because when you look at a candle flame, down at the base is that deep, rich blue. And he's like, I'm coming from the root. I'm coming from that diamond core. Let me protect you, shield you, and guide you so that you don't have to have your guard up, your prickly porcupine quills up, your skunk stitch, whatever all those things are. Because that just brings you trouble. I want to bring you blessings. So I'm going to set those aside and let's get a little bit of tarot. This is what was out ahead of time, giving me a little bit of a heads up. It's like, it could go either way. All right? It's still living a life of thinking it's sacrifice, that there are prices to be paid, or I've paid the price, where's my reward? It's like that type of, it kind of curls it and gnarls it and twists the roots. And they're like, this is what's coming in for you, friend. This is it. Look at that community spirit. And that's really coming to get on page and get on board with yourself. The delights coming in, that we got you covered. That we're not here to lure you off and to distract you away. Because, you know, when your children, often if you're dreaming, it's called daydreaming, and getting distracted from the tasks at hand, from the schoolwork to do, from your chores that need to be there, from the authority that's over you. They're like, let's just wash this away. That's why it's blue, it's water, it's cups. We just washing it. And Michael's waking up your truth, your freedom, your liberation, your power, your authority, your permission. And it looking like this. Spirit be celebrating. Your spine starts aligning, and the magic, watch it power up. Watch it align you, friend. Watch those pains and sorrows melt away. Watch the struggles dissipate. Now, that's the only thing, is first it can get kind of whirlbly, like, oh, I want to ditch over here and jump over here, because maybe you made little nests for yourself in different little places of where you used to protect yourself. Because not everybody did these things for people pleasing. There were those of us that did it for people appeasing, because we needed to guard our life until there was a time that this environment is safe. And Michael's saying it's not only safe, it's secure, friend. It's secure. Trust our love. And watch it come in, Barbara. Because this is what it look like to be you. Actually, that was in the middle. It look like that. This story that's been long told finally comes into view, finally comes into clarity and picture. And not just finally, like, it took you so long to get here. No, this is the finale, the wabang. That's why all those fireworks be going off over here, celebrating you and your fresh new start. Look at that. I know they're pom-poms, but they're also fireworks. They're the spark of love, and that spark gets you going. And this is now, friend, we are in the year of the rabbit, and they're saying hop to it. The Queen of Pentacles was showing up earlier with her stardust and her luster. And she got the main coin, the Ace of Coins of Pentacle, the permission, the everything. And it's like, hop to it. So, I'll leave you with that, friend. Hopefully you tune in, Aries, and pick up at this channel, all right? Because we got a lot going on for you. I love you, friend. Hop to it. Bye.